Dear students, in our previous class, we have discussed regarding few characteristics of OOP, that is object-oriented programming. Now we have left with only 3 characteristics. In today's class, we are going to discuss those characteristics. Among those characteristics, the first is the polymorphism. It is polymorphism. What is meant by polymorphism? Poly means multiple, mono means single. Okay, poly means multiple. So here, polymorphism means it is a feature of OOP. It is a feature of object-oriented programming, which take more than one form. Okay, more than one form based on the type of argument. Look here, polymorphism means it is a feature of polymorphism is a feature of object-oriented programming. It is a feature of object-oriented programming. And in polymorphism, where a function can take multiple forms based on the type of arguments, number of arguments, and data type of return value. Okay, polymorphism can be called as a feature of OOP. It is a feature of OOP. In polymorphism, a function can take multiple forms. Okay, I will explain later, then you will come to know what actually means function taking multiple forms based on the type of arguments, the arguments type, and then the number of arguments, also the data type of return value. Finally, what the value we will return, we will get. Okay, that is called return value, and data type of that return value based on the type of arguments, based on number of arguments, and based on the data type of return value. Okay, these are few points regarding the polymorphism. Now, what actually the polymorphism is? In this point, I am going to explain the ability of an operator and function, the ability of an operator and function to take multiple forms, is known as polymorphism. Okay, so here the ability of an operator and function Okay, to take multiple forms is known as polymorphism. What is this thing? The ability of an operator or the function, and what is meant by multiple forms. Best example for this is in your first PUC we have learned regarding string concatenation. Okay, string concatenation, strcat function. So two strings they have combined to become one string. That is called string concatenation. That is the best example for polymorphism. Now I will show you with example. Example, consider the addition operation. Consider the addition operation in addition of two numbers. In addition of two numbers, the result is the sum of two characters. The result is the sum of two characters. It means example, okay, here addition of two numbers, okay, 2 plus 2, two numbers. If we add, it will become 4. This is actually called as polymorphism, taking multiple forms to form a single function. That is called as polymorphism. I will show you with the help of string cat function, that is string concatenation. Okay, example, we will take two strings. Okay, str1 equals, okay, str1 equals, we'll take PUC. Okay, then str2 which is equal to EBAC. Okay, these are the two strings. Now we will use the string cat. Okay, first take the syntax. Okay, take two strings str1 and str2. If we do strcat string concatenation, okay, at the time this will become str1 str2. This is called string concatenation. For example, take string 1 as PUC. Okay, then string 2 as EBAC. Okay, if we do strcat, then it will become PUC EBAC. PUC EBAC. This is called string concatenation, and this process is called as polymorphism, taking multiple functions to form a single item. Okay, here taking multiple functions to form a single item. This is called as polymorphism. Come to the next characteristics, that is data binding. In our previous class, we have discussed about data binding and information hiding. Okay, what is that data binding? I told you that in next class I will explain about data binding. So now time has come to explain data binding. Okay, what is meant by data binding and how it will work? Binding is a process of connecting one program to connecting one program to another. Okay, binding means connecting one program to another. If you take two programs and we will connect one program to another, that is called as binding. Here, dynamic binding means dynamic binding means dynamic binding means code associated with a procedure call. With a procedure call. You know function calling. The same type here, procedure calling. Procedure call is known only at the time of program execution routine. Program execution routine. See, this is dynamic binding. Okay, binding means it is a process of connecting one program to another. Then dynamic binding means code associated with a procedure call. Whenever a function is called in the program, at that time the code which is associated with the procedure call, it is known. It means what is the code associated with the procedure call, that is known. Okay, only at the time when the program is executing. Okay, this is called as dynamic binding. Data binding means, okay, connecting one data item to another data item, that is called as data binding. Hope you have understood these things. And the last characteristics is message passing. As in your mobile phones, you will pass messages to your contacts. Okay, like the same way here, message is passed among the programs. We shall see how it will happen. Into processing is done by passing messages. Okay, processing. In OOPS, processing means anything. Executing a program or clearing errors of a program or getting the output of program, that is called as processing. At that time, this processing is done only with the help of passing messages to one another, to objects. Okay, messages are passed to the objects. Then a message for an object, is request for execution of procedure. Look, if among the objects, if messages are passed, okay, then a message for an object means it is a request for an object to complete the procedure execution. Okay, if from a program a message is passed to the object to complete that execution, this is called as message passing. Come, we shall see still what is explained regarding message passing. The request will involve a procedure. Okay, the request will involve a procedure and the receiving object that generates desired results. Okay, the request will involve with a procedure. Okay, in the receiving object. Okay, the object which will receive a message. In that object, request will involve a procedure. It will involve a procedure that generates that procedure which is involved in the receiving object. It generates the desired results. So this is actually called as message passing. When a message is passed for an object to execute the procedure, then at that time the message which is sent, it is a request. So that request involve a procedure in receiving object. The object which is received a message, in that object, procedure is involved to generate the desired results. So for these things, message passing is used. So hope you have understood regarding message passing. In simpler, it means message passing. There are two programs, or in a program, okay, there are two objects. So object will pass a message to other object so that this object can complete its execution, and this object will send message to the next object so that that object can complete its execution. And among the objects, okay, the message is received. That message is the request, and request will involve a procedure for to generate the result. This is called as message passing. So today we have completed the characteristics of OOPs. Next we shall move to the next topic, that is advantages of OOP. Advantages of OOP over earlier programming methods. over earlier programming methods. Come see what are the advantages of OOP over earlier program. Earlier programming means before OOPs. Okay, which are the programs? Which were the programs there? So based on those programs, here OOPs will provide some advantages. We shall see what are those advantages one by one. The programs are modularated based on the principle of classes and objects. Okay, the OOP programmings are modularated. Okay, based on the principle of classes and objects. They are modularated based on the principle of it. Means OOP programs now going to function only based on classes and objects. Why they are operated or modularated based on classes and objects, we shall see in the next point. Linking code and object code allows linking code and object code allows related objects to share common code. Okay, linking code means just like in your WhatsApp, you will send the link of YouTube, just like how I am sending. Okay, this class link, that is URL link. So that linking code and object code of the object allows related objects. If two objects are there, they are interrelated to each other. Okay, in that type of objects, okay, this linking code and object code is allowed to share the common code among the related objects. Okay, so for this thing, this will make easier for the execution of program. If the code is present in one object and that code is shared to the related object, this helps in executing program, and it will reduce the complexity of the program. And the third point here, data is encapsulated along with functions. Data is encapsulated along with functions. Therefore, to build that type of graphic applications, OOPs are